never thought I'd become the person who ate ramen 3 meals a day to save money. 5 years ago, I had a husband, a decent job, and a normal life. Then everything fell apart in the worst way possible. My 6-year-old daughter Emma got diagnosed with leukemia, and my husband walked out 2 months later. He said he couldn't handle the stress. The divorce papers arrived while I was sleeping in a hospital chair next to my baby's bed. Emma survived. She's been in remission for 8 months, and I thank God every single day. It was a random Thursday morning when my phone rang at work. Hospital billing department. My stomach immediately dropped because calls from them never meant good news. Mrs. Parker, we're calling to confirm your account balance has been paid in full. I actually laughed. That's impossible. I owe you $87,000. Not anymore, ma'am. An anonymous payment was processed yesterday. Your balance is 0. My hands started shaking. I hung up and immediately called my mortgage company. Paid. Credit card company. Paid. Car loan that I'd defaulted on. Paid. Every single debt I had gone. Vanished overnight. Someone had just given me my life back, and I had no idea who or why. But deep in my gut, I knew. I marched straight to Mr. Castellano's office with printouts of my zeroed accounts. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. He was standing at his window, back to the door, hands clasped behind him. He always stood like that when he was thinking. Stiff, controlled, unreachable. Mr. Castellano, I need to talk to you. What is it, Mrs. Parker? He didn't turn around. I put the papers on his desk. Someone paid off all my debts, $87,000, the hospital, the mortgage, everything. Was it you? Silence, long, agonizing silence. Mr. Castellano, please, I need to know. He finally turned to face me, and his expression was completely blank. I don't know what you're talking about. For 6 weeks, I tried to thank him. I brought him coffee with a note. He left it untouched on his desk. I tried to catch him after work. He walked past me without making eye contact. I sent an email expressing my gratitude. He never responded. It was maddening. How could someone change your entire life and refuse to even acknowledge it? My coworkers thought I was losing it. Maybe it wasn't him, they'd say. Maybe you had a rich relative you didn't know about. But I knew. I could see it in the way he avoided me now. In the way his jaw tightened whenever I entered his office. In the way he'd leave the break room if I walked in. He'd saved me, and for some reason, that fact was tearing him apart. I couldn't understand why. Not yet, but I was about to find out. Mr. Castellano had never missed a day of work. Not once in 5 years. Not for holidays, not for illness, nothing. He was there at 7 a.m. every single morning like clockwork. So when his office sat empty at 9 a.m., then 10 a.m., then noon, I knew something was seriously wrong. I shouldn't have done what I did next. It was probably crossing a line, but I couldn't shake the feeling that he needed help. I found his address in the employee files and drove to his house. It was a small ranch in a quiet neighborhood. Perfect lawn, neat shutters. Everything looked normal from the outside. I knocked on the door, my heart racing. What was I even going to say? When the door opened, I barely recognized him. His eyes were destroyed, red, swollen, raw from crying. He looked 20 years older than yesterday. He didn't say anything. He just stepped aside and let me in. The house was spotless but cold. No family photos, no personal touches. It felt more like a waiting room than a home. He led me down a hallway and stopped in front of a closed door. His hand trembled as he reached for the handle. "It's the anniversary," he whispered. 23 years today. He opened the door, and my heart shattered. Pink walls with butterfly stickers, a small desk covered in crayons, stuffed animals arranged carefully on a twin bed, bookshelves filled with children's stories. Everything was perfectly preserved, frozen in time. "My daughter," he said quietly. "Sophie, she was 7 years old." He picked up a crayon drawing from the desk, stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. His hands were shaking. "We had insurance, but it wasn't enough. I worked 3 jobs trying to cover the treatments. I was never home. I missed everything, her recitals, her bedtime stories, her last few months. Tears rolled down his face. She died on this day 23 years ago. My wife Angela called me, screaming for me to come to the hospital, but I was 2 hours away at work. By the time I got there, Sophie was gone. His voice cracked completely. She died asking why Daddy wasn't there. I chose paying bills over holding my daughter's hand. I thought I was saving her, but I was just absent. I was crying too, unable to hold it back. When I saw you struggling alone, working yourself to exhaustion for Emma, I saw Angela. I saw what I put my family through. I couldn't save Sophie. I didn't think. I just crossed the room and hugged him. He stood frozen for a moment, then his arms came around me and he sobbed deep, painful sobs that he'd been holding in for 2 decades. "You gave me everything," I whispered. "Please let me give you something back." "You don't owe me anything," he said through tears. "I did it for Sophie. I needed to believe that if someone had helped us, maybe I would have been there. Maybe she wouldn't have died thinking I didn't love her." "She knew you loved her," I said, "and you don't have to carry this alone anymore." We stood there for a long time, 2 broken people holding each other up, crying for the children we almost lost and the ones we couldn't save. Sometimes grief connects people in ways nothing else can. Sometimes the person you save ends up saving you right back. The following Sunday, I brought Emma to meet Mr. Castellano. She was nervous at first, this sad old man in a house that felt frozen in time. But Emma has always had a gift for seeing people's hearts. She walked right up to him and held out a drawing she'd made, a little girl and an old man holding hands under a rainbow. "My mom says you're the reason I still have her," Emma said softly. "Thank you for helping us when we needed it." He took the drawing with shaking hands, staring at it like it was the most precious thing in the world. Then he started crying again. Emma hugged his legs without hesitation. "It's okay to be sad," she said, "but we're here now. You don't have to be alone." That's when I saw it, the first real smile on Frank Castellano's face in what I guessed was 23 years. 2 years have passed since that Thursday morning when my life changed. Frank Castellano is a different person now. He comes to our apartment every Sunday for dinner. He walks Emma to school every morning. He attends every soccer game, every recital, every parent-teacher conference. He's teaching Emma how to build things in his workshop, and last month they built a birdhouse together painted pink with purple butterflies. Emma calls him Grandpa Frank. The first time she said it, he cried happy tears. Sophie's room isn't a frozen museum anymore. Emma plays there sometimes, drawing at the same little desk, reading the same books. Frank says it makes him happy to hear laughter in that room again. People ask me if Frank is my father. I smile and say, something better, he's family. Because that's what kindness does. It doesn't just save lives. It creates connections that go deeper than blood. It builds families where there were only strangers. Last week, Emma told me she wants to help people when she grows up. Like Grandpa Frank helped us, she said. That's when I realized the most important truth about kindness. It doesn't end with one act. It ripples outward, creating more kindness in return. Frank didn't just pay off my debt. He showed me that even in our darkest moments, there are people who see us, who care, who choose to lift us up when we can't stand alone. He was trying to heal his own grief, but he ended up healing all 3 of us. Sophie's death will always be part of Frank's story, but now it's not the ending anymore.